Hey guys, what is happening? Welcome back to the channel. It has been a while, I know. Today we have some gorgeous weather. I couldn't miss this opportunity to come out here. I've specifically come to Riverdale East Park, and you can see that the Toronto City skyline is right behind me. It's a beautiful day, and I had to get out here just to give you guys an update. And it has been, guys, it has been 2 years already. I can't believe it. Time has gone so quick. When we first got here, everything was like a whirlwind. Things were moving so fast. It was unbelievable. And all of the changes, everything that's happened, and now we find ourselves here. It's just gone past 2 years, and I wanted to give you guys an update. It's been very rare that we get this kind of weather. It's been pretty bad, to be honest. So guys, 2 years, wow. I thought I would grab a seat, managed to find something in this side of the park. I remember the first time I drove past here was incredible. During the evening, the city lights look awesome from this side. So yeah guys, it's been a phenomenal 2 years. What can I say? So much has changed, so much has happened. Honestly, when you first get here, it's you're being pulled from left to right and you're trying to figure stuff out, and you could probably see in some of my early videos how I'm scrambling and I'm talking about all sorts of different topics and going through all this stuff that new immigrants go through, and you know, it's something that everyone goes through, whether you come from a Western country or a foreign country, whether you speak the language or you don't. There's a level of adjusting that everyone has to go through when you get here. And now I live here in Toronto. I've been here for 2 years, and I wanted to come to this park specifically because I see a lot of content out there, a lot of YouTubers that don't actually live here anymore, or they've moved on, and a lot of people are making content about, you know, should you be in Toronto, should you come here or should you not? And I wanted to make a point that, you know, I'm right here, I'm in the heart of the city. I've been here for 2 years. It's been tough. You know, we've survived job losses, we've survived a bit of a lockdown when that was still going on. There's been so many changes, and you know, I wanted everyone to know that it's possible. So, you know, if you're new and you're looking at this video and you're thinking about coming, and you know, amongst all of the craziness that's going on in the world right now, so it's yeah, it's still possible. If I could do it, honestly, anyone could. I mean, we arrived. It was October. We went into the winter, a winter like no other that we've ever experienced in England. You know, we couldn't get credit cards. We didn't have a credit score. We struggled to find an apartment. We couldn't get a loan for a vehicle. So many things that you take for granted coming from your own country will be new when you get here. And certainly even for us, you know, we thought it'd be a walk in the park, but believe me, it was not. And Toronto really teaches you a lot about adulting. I'll just put it that way. You know, your finances are going to go up and down. You just can't have a control over so many things until we got into the second year, and that's when things stable out a little bit. It's usually the first 6 months, you know, sometimes a year, given, you know, all different factors. It can take a long time really to adjust, for things to settle down, to get into a routine. And it's been a great 2 years, honestly. The change, all of the different things that have happened. We've been so many places. We want to go to more places. You know, we recently went to Montreal. That was great. We've driven to New York, which was awesome. We're planning to go to Florida in March to visit some friends, which will be a break from this weather, because I'll tell you something, the Canadian winter is not to be taken lightly. It's a beautiful day now in January. We don't really get this type of temperature in January. I know it's been a while since I've made some content, and it's just been a lot, you know, this last year, the second year of being here. We definitely got into a routine, and, you know, jobs sort of settled down a little bit, but work stress was through the roof the past year, and as well as immigration, to be honest. Anyone that knows me well, any of my friends and family, they know that we've been absolutely going through the washer and the dryer when it comes to the immigration process, and we're somewhat out the other end of it. Now I'm here going into my third year, and that's because I'm on an LMIA, which is a labour market impact assessment, and I'll make a separate video about that, because I want to give people some advice and tell them my story about the processes I went through, the timescales, what to look out for, and I think it's an entire different video, to be honest, which I'll be doing shortly and I'll be putting up soon. And so that really consumed the last year, the second year that we were here. It was just every day, every minute, every hour, it was just immigration, paperwork, organising stuff, sorting stuff out, and then work was just really ramped up with a lot of pressure, and it was just this pendulum of immigration and back to work, 5 days and then back to immigration, and then everything in between. And so I learned a lot from last year, really, was to appreciate my own time. There's only so much you can keep doing until you just absolutely get burnt out and worn out. Fortunately we have flown back to England once a year, so that's twice. But it's not really a vacation when you go back to England. It's it's kind of a procession, and then the next thing you know, you're back on a flight coming back to Canada. So we haven't really taken a vacation. So going to Florida in March, that's going to be kind of like our first vacation in almost 3 years, and that's the reality, guys, of moving to Canada, moving to another country. You have to let go of some of the luxuries that you have, even if it's for a short period of time, because you have to really stay focused on the goal that's in front of you. I've met so many people that lost track of that, and they kind of went all the way down to the wire when it came to the immigration or the visas, and then they really regretted it because they had to either go back to their home country for a short while, or they had to do all sorts of other things that I've heard people have been doing to stay in the country. So we had to let go of the luxury of taking nice beach holidays and vacations, or to me a vacation is going somewhere new where maybe you don't know the language and you've never been before. So that hasn't happened for a while, so we're looking forward to what we can squeeze out of this year in terms of having a bit of fun. And so what does the future hold? I always thought that we would have ended up leaving Toronto in terms of the city by now, and you can probably, if you go back to some of the earlier videos I made when I first got here, I talk about it then as well, and I think I was talking about it from just a financial point of view, and I honestly thought we would have moved on by now, gone somewhere else, gone to a different part of the GTA, but we're still here, and a lot of that was to do because we finally got into a routine in the second year. But the other part of it is that, as anyone knows, there's really high interest rates in the world and in Canada, and the housing market in Canada is insane. Because the interest rates are so high, all of the potential buyers have now jumped into the rental market, which meant the rents went through the roof, even though they were already high. Be prepared for that, guys. If you're thinking about coming here, it's if you're trying to find your own place, you're looking at a minimum of 2,000 anywhere near the city. If you want to share or share apartments, you can do that. That will bring your prices down, but you don't get your privacy. Like me, I'm married, so I don't think that was on the cards, and we pay rent. It's a big chunk of your salary that you have to let go of. It's just the way it is, and it's a little bit unfortunate. If the weather was a bit nicer all year round, and if Toronto was a little bit more of a impactful city, I think it would be worth it. But it's I find it a bit of a chill city. I've said that I think before, and we're here. We're going to continue to stay here. We've had family and friends visit us here in the city, in the place that we live right now, and we live just south of Midtown, I would say. And we're going to continue to stay here, really. And we may move. It purely depends on if the rental market comes down drastically. It's come down recently, but not enough for us to move and get an upgrade. It will be move and get something that's the same, or move and get something that's a downgrade. So I don't see the benefit in packing all that stuff just to move to a similar place that we live in at the moment. It has to be a good drastic change for me to be like, all right, let's take the opportunity, and maybe we'll find a saving, or maybe we'll have some other luxuries that we don't have, like a little balcony or some outdoor space, or maybe a gym or something that's in the building. But we're here, and we're going into our third year, and it really does look like that we're going to push for our permanent residence this year. and stay here longer term. Now, every immigrant does this, and everyone pushes for the PR, and no one really makes a plan of what to do after that. Because what happens really after that is that you then get faced with the high prices of housing. You then get faced with either moving to a different province where it might be colder. Well, it will be colder because I think Southern Ontario has some of the best summers, easiest winters. That's one of the biggest driving factors of why, you know, I will maybe stay around the GTA longer term. But nothing's set in stone, and nothing's going to happen until we get our own permanent residence in place, and that's really what we're waiting for. And once that's out the way, you know, I try not to put pressure on myself about thinking too far ahead. You know, everyone does it. We're all guilty of it. That's the way society is built right now. But I don't really want the added pressure of $1 million house in Toronto or in the GTA. On top of everything else at the moment. It's best to take it step by step, and we're just hoping to get the PR, we'll get it out the way. I'm going to go on a big vacation after that, just to get away from it all, and then we'll come back and we'll literally be able to plan everything ahead. You know, and I will make a separate video about express entries and PRs because we're going through all of those processes now. Everyone knows what's going on at the moment. It's an interesting time, you know. Ontario's changing rules. BC's just announced a 2-year pause on immigration, on students coming in, and all sorts of things are happening, and it feels like Canada's closing its doors very slowly but surely. I think once the Trudeau government is out, I think there's going to be a drastic change then, really, on top of everything that's going on now, so it's no secret. On the flip side, you know, one of my friends called me and he's just got his PR. He applied for it, I think, in May of last year, so that was a 7 months turnaround, which is pretty decent. But it does feel like there's a bit of a shift that's going on now. The express entry scores are just so high to get selected, it's unbelievable. But honestly, guys, you know, to wrap this one up, and you know, there's been 2 years that we've been here, and I personally believe that life has changed for the better, and it's odd to say that because since I've been here, everyone's like, oh, Canada isn't the same as what it used to be, but I can't draw comparisons from that because I wasn't here 4 years ago or 5 years ago. I got here 2 years ago, and it was an interesting time when we got here. I never saw so many fuck Trudeau flags hanging out of car windows, and I was so confused as to what was going on. I knew a little bit, but I just didn't realise it was that extreme. That's all gone. That was literally when we first came, but that's all disappeared, even though I think most people still feel the same way. So we'll continue to you know, figure things out, get to the next step, and it's been a solid 2 years, I think. So it's been a good run, and I'm looking forward to what's going to be next. I feel like there's more immigration stress that's gone on the way, but so be it. So yeah, guys, you know, I'm going to be making more content. I'm going to do a couple of videos about the processes I've been through with immigration, what's coming up next, and I want to try and keep it a little bit more consistent, just because I feel like we've found a routine while being in Canada, and I want to make a point that, you know, I'm still here and we're in Toronto, and I've started pronouncing it like that now. I've forgotten about the second T. And you know, I want to make sure that, you know, I'm putting out content that's coming from the heart of Toronto, and you know, that it's doable. It's very difficult. You've got to be tough if you want to be here and get through it. Even as an English-speaking, you know, person from England, it's still tough. There's so many changes. So it's going ahead. We're here and we're going for it. And maybe this is going to really turn into a long-term thing. Who knows where we go after this? We don't know. But for the short term, you know, we're still here in the middle of the city, and I want to make the most of it. I want to keep making videos while I'm here, because we never know when you might leave, and you know, I'll be like the other guys making content about Toronto, and I don't even live here, right? So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. there'll be more stuff coming soon. I finally got out in the good weather today, and we'll be back with some more videos really soon. So thanks for watching, guys.